Hi, I'm Amanda, and I just wanted to drop in for a couple of minutes to update you on the type of agendas that are presenting in coaching at the moment from companies and organizations. We all live in a relational world, and when we live in that space, it requires us to have exceptional relational skills and dynamics. And that plays a role in the teams that we work on in our corporate worlds and in our agencies and organizations. There has been a massive shift in the last year, which has created a working environment that is quite different than what we've known before. So the main question that keeps coming up on the agenda is how do we transfer those relational skills and dynamics to our teams when they're working so remotely from each other? Things that we had taken for granted before, like going into the kitchen in the office, the canteen for a cup of tea, going to the water cooler, having a cup of water with somebody, going down the hall and just having some banter, have been removed to a certain degree from our working environment. Information about ourselves and how we built our team was built on an exchange in a presence of energy with ourselves and with our colleagues. So information that we chose to share was based on the development of a relationship in person. Whereas now we have stepped back from that and we are now in a place where our communication is through a digital screen. So how do we shift knowing that that connectedness is quite different? And how do we continue to build teams when that sharing of information about ourselves may be slower to come to the surface? If you take an example of an iceberg, on the top of the iceberg is outside the water, and it's a visual representation of you and what people see about you, your energy, your presence, your just how you are as a person on a surface level. And as we join a team, we slowly start to go into the lower part of that iceberg, which is underwater, where all of our core beliefs and values are and our real sense of who we are. And we slowly disseminate that information to people that we want to give that information to. And depending on how long we know that person, our energy connection with that person, and the environment that we're working on will depend on how much information we do share. But it is based on building that in the presence of another person. So when we're behind a screen now, information that we're still trying to share with someone might be done in a very different way because our relationship is a little bit different now. And how we communicate is not as easily transferred as it would normally be. So the other agenda item that's coming up is transformational conversations. How do we have those conversations? What conversations are bubbling underneath that iceberg that are trying to get to the top that we can't control, or we don't know even how to start that conversation because we can't start it the way we would have normally in a kitchen over a cup of coffee having a bit of banter. We now are behind a computer and a desk, and while we may still have fun and there's elements of that, it's still more of a challenge for people to break open their own system and start to share that piece about themselves. So using neuroscience, we work with the teams to try to help them bridge those gaps that we currently face when working remotely, to enable them to continue to build those relationships, build strength in that, find new ways to work together as a team that actually support their knowledge base of each other, their relationships, their connectedness, and that energy that they shared when they were on site together. So if any of these agenda items relate or connect to you, or you have agenda items yourself that you have queries around, please feel free to contact me and we'll arrange a conversation so that we can look at the agenda items that you're facing right now and how you might be able to manage that, supporting your staff and the leadership and the company be able to maximize everybody and benefit everybody with this change in the working environment.